Hello. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Let me real quick move this over to my other monitor. All right. Let me see. Idris, will you bring me my phone? I think it's in the kitchen. If you don't mind. I'm just dropping the link on Threads real quick. All right, let's see if anybody's here. Okay, looks like we have one person. Hey, you gotta start from the bottom, right? I appreciate. Oh, we got a couple more. Okay. Well, we'll let you guys come in. We're gonna go through weekly bias real quick. I did it on Threads or on Twitch yesterday, but I was not able to save it. I have no clue where it went. So we are going to have to just roll with it. So let me roll fast. See if I can. All right. Do you guys mind? Hey, thank you so much, boo. You mind commenting in the chat just so I know you're here, and then we'll go ahead and get into it. The way my software is set up is my camera's here, but I have to turn here to look at the screen. So if you guys have trouble seeing me, that is why. But I just really quick, I think we'll start here. I'm on the 12-hour time frame, and I threw these trend lines on here because I think it shows really nicely that we are currently in consolidation. So, okay, I'm getting an alert. Hopefully it's still working okay. Well, we're currently in consolidation on NQ. We're creating a formation. So this is like some kind of a triangle formation where you've got these highs and these lows, basically creating a dealing range where NQ took liquidity from the high, took liquidity from the low, traded back into the range, came down. Typically, when you create a dealing range like that, price is supposed to take the high. We will see, though. I definitely see signs that we are getting a lot of resistance at the highs. So I am currently curious if NQ is going to be able to clear this 12-hour SIBI. As of right now, though, we did take the sell side of the weekly. So this happened over the last couple of hours. I believe it was last night. They took weekly sell side, and it was only NQ that took sell side. ES did not take sell side, which is bullish. So anytime you get where one sister takes a low out and the other one fails to take that same low out, you have SMT. And SMT at the lows, as of right now, is a bullish indication. So we're finding support on this inversion fair value gap from the day chart. And I will show you guys real quick. So this is it used to be a SIBI because we had traded down and created displacement here. But when price traded back up, it failed to reject that SIBI and found support. So right now, this is our current support. And on the 12, this is a new resistance that was created. However, this is the primary. So this right here is like our primary resistance. So for me, for us to go higher, I would need to see NQ basically do this to take anything higher. That would be the way that I would see price move higher with the way NQ is currently set up. So that is what I currently see on NQ. Definitely I'm looking for this SIBI to be touched tonight. I'm assuming that they're going to try to go up and hit that this evening. It could also happen in the morning, but it's a lot of time in Asia, so they could definitely do that this evening. I would assume that would be our draw on liquidity tonight that I'd be looking for NQ. And I think that is, we went through day, usually I start higher, so why don't we go up to let's just go to 3 months so I can show you guys what I'm looking at. So in the 3 month, I definitely have NQ coming up here. I think it's going to go higher for sure. I personally would just like to see it hit the BISIs on the lower time frame that I'm about to show you in a second before it goes there. So that's first. This is monthly. You can see we've got a clean uptrend going. It's really nice. Monthly. Wait, let me actually hide that trend line because it's a weekly trend line. I do like looking at them. I know a lot of people, especially ICT people, are like, oh my God, a trend line. But I do like looking at trend lines. They're just kind of a nice little, why is it not? Let's put that. Let's do this again. I want to say current, interval, and below. Okay, let's try that one more time. There we go. Oh, it's still doing it. Okay, we're just going to delete it. So this is what I'm looking at on the monthly. So we've got a couple of bull fair value gaps on the month. We've got this, which is an inversion, similar to the one that was on the day chart. It was not retested though. So it's a balanced price range where you've got a paint stroke down, paint stroke up. So you've got equal representation of buyers and sellers. Technically, price does not have to go back there because it is balanced. Then you have this BISI here. And that BISI is, again, another monthly BISI. So you've got one monthly BISI, two monthly BISIs here. And then we've got these wicks at the highs. So these wicks is just showing like prices finding resistance here. Personally, I would love to see NQ trade down here first to take sell side to go higher. And that's me being selfish because I honestly would like to grab some positions down there. When you look at your stocks too, a lot of the stocks have very similar setups on the chart. Nvidia, Microsoft, Palantir, they all look just like this. So just like NQ, which is not surprising. But personally, I would love to see that. The deeper it goes, the better. Like if it wanted to do this, I would be perfectly okay with that, which would give us an even better discount. So we will see. We'll see what happens. But if we come back to the weekly, as of right now, though, we do have weekly bullish SMT. So NQ has got to take, or excuse me, ES needs to take the low so that that SMT can be cleared. But it is a challenge because this would be considered an order block, and that is currently holding support. So you can see you've got this candle found support, this candle found support, and it's being represented by this wick. You see how the bodies tell the story, wicks do the damage. And then you've got this candle which traded a little bit lower into that order block, but it's still being respected. So this order block is our current support on NQ. So that's supposed to be weekly order block, and it should be bullish. We'll just make it green. So that is what we're currently looking at. I think at the end of the day, like there's a lot that could happen. I try to make scenarios so I have like ideas around the possibilities. So that way I'm nimble. I'm able to like see what they're going to do and play it. It is non-farm payroll though. So with non-farm, they could do both. They could hit the lows and hit the highs. They could hit the highs then the lows. Non-farm payroll is definitely known for creating what's called seek and destroy, and seek and destroy is when price takes liquidity on both sides. So do not be surprised if they do just that, especially because we did not have a regular trading day today. The fact that we are closed, ICT has always told us that is basically creates the opportunity for the market to try to go on seek and destroy, and in my mind I kind of see it as like it's trying to make up lost time. So because we weren't open today, they're going to try to do what they got to do in the short amount of time they have to complete the targets and objectives that the chart has for the week. And sometimes that can get really, really nasty. If you're not someone who is really strong at trading and trading, very nimble, I would say be careful. Like even me, I feel pretty comfortable with the market and reading price and what's happening, but at the same time, I still am going to be cautious, and I'm trading with a smaller position size this week. I probably will be in options to reduce my risk and to buy time, just to be safe, because I definitely do not want to get clapped. I don't want my funded accounts to get clapped. Everything is going great. I had a great week last week. I'm not trying to give no money back, so I don't play with non-farm, especially too when you think about how a candle is created. To create your monthly candle, you're going to have your open. The first week is establishing the direction of that candle, and that's oftentimes where the wick is created. So basically, you'd have your first week, then you have your week 2, which is where you get your true month open, and then true month open is used as a pivot. So if we're going to be bearish for the month, oftentimes week 1 is setting up that accumulation, aka the consolidation. Week 2 oftentimes manipulates, and then you typically get distribution week 3, and then at the end of the month they create the month wick, which is what we got here. So this move, and excuse me, let me actually go back because I'm on the weekly. We got that move down right at the end of the week Friday. A lot of people were surprised by it, but you just have to think about what candle we're creating. We're closing a weekly candle, a monthly candle. That does come into play because they will try to create the wick of that particular candle to align with whatever they plan to do the following month or the following candle. So with that being said, if I had control over the market, I would love to see sell side get swept. Obviously, we're going to play what they print, so we'll see what happens. Because it is non-farm, like I said, I'm going to be very careful and very cautious, and I don't want to get ahead of myself or anything like that. We'll just see what they do. But these are my current ideas. So just to summarize, to go higher, I would like to see NQ use this day bearish fair value gap here. This is a day SIBI. I would want to see price use this SIBI as support. So this is a SIBI on the day chart. Now I'm going to make that a little bit more annoying of a color. So you can currently see this is our current support in green and our current resistance in red. And please ignore I have so many tabs open at the top, but I do use most of them if you guys can see them. So I hope that makes sense. So an order block is basically going to be essentially like, kind of think about it as like it's where the orders for the move come out of. Okay, so this would be an order block down here. It's your last down close candle before the bullish up move. This order block here though is kind of interesting. It didn't create any imbalance until about here, and you could actually probably take these two candles together. Mainly for that reason, I probably would just group them together, or you could even take this candle because you can see they're currently respecting this candle. So bearish order blocks are going to be green, and bullish order blocks are going to be red. Okay, so you got to go down to go up, and you got to go up to go down. Okay, so you always want to look for the candle to create the opposite direction to create that move. And oftentimes when price is creating an order block, it's going to look like consolidation. So you'll see it, and a lot of times you won't realize they're creating an order block until you're like, dang, we've been consolidating, and then you zoom out and you see like it's just one big old red candle and they're about to go up. So you want to see order blocks get created at support or resistance, and you want them to be the opposite color of what the direction of the move. A high probability order block is going to be accompanied by a fair value gap. So you are going to want to see a BISI or SIBI come associated with that particular candle, or series of candles. An order block can also be a series of candles. Let's see if we can find a good example on the 4 hour. Let's see. So I would probably usually use these candles as an order block on the low. So this down close move here on the 4 hour. And the reason I say that is because if you look right, look at how the bodies and the wicks are respecting this candle. This is actually a whole bunch of them, but this like pattern of candles, you see how there's like just a whole bunch of candles. Like this was a lot of just nasty moves, and it moved up. But when you look at that, when we go bearish, usually what they'll do is they'll cut straight through that. So this is a particular way that the algorithm delivers, and then it'll deliver in an opposite way. It's a quicker move to cut through price action when they deliver price like this. So oftentimes you'll see them do stairs up, elevator down. They're like different ways the algorithm will deliver price when they're delivering to their targets. So don't be surprised when you see that walk up, because to cut through all of these order blocks, they got to do it quickly. They got to cut through it fast. And oftentimes it's after they've already offered sell side to all of the fair value gaps that you see along the way. So these retraces down are offering sell side, sell side, sell side, sell side, sell side, took the last buy side, and then dumped, retrace all of that. And it's cool too, like if you throw a fib on here, if you guys like fibs, you could take this as like your fib, and let me, so this would be right down to the golden zone. So our low, I would probably take this as my possible original consolidate. It might actually be this down here though, that we have yet to go back to. But you could take this series of price action as well. And you see they retrace right to the golden zone. And then if we do this next one, I love fibs because they show you where your discount and premium is located. So it kind of gives you a sense for like when price returns, where we may return back to. And you always want to buy longs at a discount and shorts at a premium. So again, 50% is the blue line. And then this is their golden zone down here. So you see how price reacts. So look at the reaction to the golden zone, your 0.79. Look at the reaction to the 0.70. Look at the reaction to the 0.62. Like these levels are not, on accident. So that is just something I wanted to show you guys real quick. But just to summarize, I am looking at the day Sibby here. To go higher, I would want to see price close a body above this level and hold a support. I also would like to see it do that with displacement, aka create new fair value. After that, if we are going to go lower, I would want to see price disrespect this particular day inversion fair value gap down here. And I would want to see price do that with displacement. So those are the current things I'm looking for. Like I said, I'm not in a hurry to jump in anything or to get clapped. I'll be very careful going into the week for that reason. But there's some really nice things on the chart this week. So we definitely, I think, are going to have some really good opportunities. So don't sleep on NQ. There's a couple things I'm looking for long entries on where I want to buy, some more positions on. Nvidia is one. I think Nvidia is definitely one that'll be likely to give us a retrace sometime soon. Microsoft is another one. I would love to see both of them retrace their recent moves up, offer some entries to the upside to then continue to go higher. Same with Palantir. I would love to see Palantir offer sell side to its imbalance. And when you guys take some time and go to their charts and just look for some of the things that we talked about here, you can literally use the fair value gaps as your support or resistance because they communicate intention. They communicate where that true support or resistance is going to be. They communicate if the order blocks are still, still have money and are still going to be able to offer support or not. So you can definitely look at it with the same lens. But I hope you guys got something out of this conversation and, find it to be helpful going into next week. But I think the biggest thing I can tell you to do for next week trading is be careful, okay? And the rule that ICT tells us is you can trade Monday of non-farm. So obviously it's a holiday, so there's no trading. You can trade Tuesday and then Wednesday morning. He tells us to be off Wednesday afternoon and no trading on Thursday. Okay, and it's very tempting because sometimes you see some really, really great trades, but the problem is that you might get a good trade one non-farm payroll and then the next one is trash and you get completely clapped. And people oftentimes give up their whole account non-farm, so it's not even worth the risk. You know what I'm saying? So I personally just would say be careful. Friday morning when they actually release the news for non-farm, we don't trade up until that, and then we can trade after. So after that, you let the charts kind of settle down, you let that volatility get injected, then you can assess what's happening and you can position yourself. But you really don't want to do it after Wednesday morning. You want to be off, and you want to be off until Friday after the news. So those are the general rules. And I'm telling you guys, it doesn't matter how good of a trader you think you are, it's not worth it, you know. And I really respect Jamie and Frank, and they are great traders. They always lead by example. It's just funny, like they do not get on them charts and hit that button. So it's like, if they can be responsible, I can be responsible too. It's a lot a month that you can get some money. You don't have to trade every single time the market is open. So just resist the urge if you can. But anyway, I want to let you guys get back to it. I hope you got something out of our conversation, and I definitely think it's going to be a great Q4 in the market. I think we've got some really good moves cooking. So if you are, looking to make some great opportunities, you make some money, definitely tap in, like get your studying on, make sure you do your charting, look on your high time frame for fair value, learn your breakers. We've been talking a lot about breakers on Threads. Learn where your breakers are at. I'm telling you, the breakers are money. Price creates those breakers. It comes back to the breakers, okay? It's a signature that the chart creates when they break structure. And it's amazing how if you can learn those breakers and you can learn how to identify a balanced price range and what an ICT unicorn is, you can find so many high probability opportunities in the market. And a breaker block is what ICT, he calls it to be like one of his most probable setups, because a breaker combines so many elements of what ICT teaches. So don't sleep on them breakers. Definitely spend some time on those if you haven't already. But I'm going to let you guys get back to it. I hope you've enjoyed our conversation today, but I did not want to make this too long. So I'm going to let you guys get back to it so you can enjoy the rest of your holiday. And if you have any questions, hit me up on Threads at Kristyn Alexis, just like the channel is spelled. And y'all know I'll be trying to get back to the questions and stuff like that. So definitely let me know if there's anything that you'd like to talk about. And I'll see you guys next time.